Today we are going to be talking very quickly about how to stop wanting her back, even if you still have the hope she's going to change, she's going to come back, she's going to magically want to be back together again. I know that's a big subject for everybody, so we're going to be talking about something that a lot of guys have in common, right? Even when it didn't work, still wanting her back, even when you're tired and you want to move on. So let me ask the folks online this. Who here has told themselves before, it is over, I am done? Okay, right? Sound familiar? And you start focusing on yourself again. You're looking at your health, you're looking at your routine, you're looking at your life again. You're really shifting the focus to you. But in the background, there's still that thought that is creeping around. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe she's going to come back one day. Or maybe this could still work somehow, okay? And that hope is totally killing you, keeping you in complete limbo, as somebody described it to me once. Type a 1 in the chat if that's ever happened to you, if you felt that pull before. I know a lot of you guys have voiced that to me. My God, I just want to move forward. I want to focus on me. But maybe, or maybe, I don't know, like, what if she comes back? Could that work? Roger, 1. Tony, 1. You guys are being honest this morning. That's great. How many of you here today with me are wanting her memory to be neutral? For you to be able to think about her and have control over where the thoughts actually start and stop. Right? Actually be able to live your life and not be controlled by the thoughts and the feelings about her. If you're thinking like, that's what I want, to have that control back, give me a yeah in the chat right now. Or type whatever else you are wanting to not have her always on your mind without your permission, right? And when she is, it not being charged, it just being like, yeah, that reminded me of her. Okay, on to the next thing, right? There's some yes, that's great. You guys are on it. Okay, so if we have not met yet, my name is Elena, and I coach men who feel stuck after a relationship to actually let go and rebuild their confidence and move forward cleanly without any closure from her and without going back. And today we are going to break down why you still want her back and the key thing you need to do to shut this down. All right, let's go. So I want to frame this in an actual real life scenario. I had a client, or I have a client right now, named P. We'll leave it at that. When we started working together, he was very hung up on his ex, okay? He had been with her for 10 years. That's a long time, and the relationship was now over. But he felt a massive pull toward her still. I'm sure many folks online can relate to that. And so thoughts of her would be popping up all the time in his day. While he went to the cafe that they used to go to together, when he was driving by her house because they live in the same area, and when he was taking long walks, etc., etc. He's feeling very exhausted, very drained, right? And he told me, Elena, part of me wants her back. So I said, why? And he responded, because I love her. And I said, okay, why else? And he told me, I miss her, right? The things we used to do together, I miss cuddling with her on the couch. I miss laughing with her when times were good. And I miss watching our show together every Friday. Is anyone else relating to P and feeling this way? Put a 2 in the chat if you also think about the things that you miss about your ex. If that just happens for you without you trying, right? How those things still hold a little pain now that they are lost, but you think about them. It's totally normal, by the way. Brian says 2. Andrew says 2. Thank you, guys. Thinking about these things are not the problem. Okay, missing this person is not the problem. Loving this person is not the problem. All of this is facts, right? It's okay. It makes total sense. You spent a relationship with this person, okay? And you stayed for reasons, some reasons, right? Some, even if they're small. What the actual mistake is turning the things you miss into evidence that you should still be together, no matter how small. Because your brain starts to blend two completely different things together. Missing somebody and being compatible with them, right? So, when those two things get mixed together, you stay emotionally attached. And I recognize that not all of you is emotionally attached. There is a part that would love to throw all that in the garbage, but there's part of you that still is. Okay, that's where the confusion comes from. That part of you is still remembering the connection, okay? The things that kept you comfortable, the routines, the laughs. But you have to look at the full picture. You have to remind that piece of you, hey, by the way, right, there are arguments, there was distance, there was loneliness inside that relationship, the things that made you unhappy, right? And the ways you had to abandon yourself to keep it going. And this is exactly what was happening to Pete. Every time he missed her, his brain interpreted as, oh my, maybe she was the one. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should hold on a little longer. Not all of him, just this one part, right? The loving part. We all have it. But missing someone does not automatically mean that they were right for you, okay? You can love somebody deeply and still not be fulfilled by them long term. And that is the part that most men actually struggle separating. When you're emotionally starving after a breakup, your mind naturally is going to zoom in on the relief, on the comforts. Not whether the relationship actually worked, and that is what is keeping that hope alive. So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about what is going to happen if you don't actually learn to fix this, right? Like how to stop wanting her back, right? That piece, that one part of you that is just being adamant, right? If we don't actually know how to fix that part, you're going to stay stuck in that loop. And the loop that you guys are all familiar with, right? Letting go. Then going back mentally. Trying to move forward, then questioning it. Trying to actually heal, but not fully detaching. Costing you a ridiculous amount of your time, a ridiculous amount of your energy, and your momentum. Feeling like you're always 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Okay, it costs you moments with your kids. Enjoying a long weekend with a family. It costs you picking up the guitar or golf clubs and just being yourself again. It's stealing moments of your life away. So this is the lesson. What I'm going to give you is one simple question that actually cuts through the confusion and really addresses that piece of you that is just holding on. So write this down, guys. If nothing about her changed, would I genuinely want this relationship forever? If nothing about her changed, would I genuinely want this relationship forever? Not the potential version of her, right? Not the version that you'd hope she'd become. Or the version of the relationship from the honeymoon phase. Not that one either. Her as she is now. Or actually how she actually was, depending, right? The communication, the effort, the emotional safety, the conflict, the inconsistency, the distance and the patterns. Think about all those things. If nothing changed, how would you honestly want that for the next 5, 10, 20 years? And this is where everything shifted for my client P. I asked him this. I asked him to answer this. And when he finally did, he got pretty quiet and he stopped focusing on what he missed. And he started actually remembering and reminding himself what he actually signed up for in that relationship. And he realized, I don't miss this relationship as much as I miss certain feelings inside of it. Right? Huge difference now. Recognizing that he missed things about the relationship, right? But not necessarily the person. Or missing the person still because he held love for her, but recognizing that's not what I want. I don't want the person. I want just the things inside that relationship that were nice. That is the shift. Is this valuable for you guys? Type value in the chat if you're getting value from this training so far to let me know. Kyle says value. Trevor says value. Guys, you don't need to convince yourself that she was evil. Okay? You don't need to hate her to move on. You don't need to erase any of the good memories. You just need to ask yourself, is that actually the life that I want with that person as they are now? That is going to separate you from the things that you've missed about her to missing her, you know? So if you're realizing tonight that you're tired of missing her and you're holding on hope, feeling emotionally stuck, that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I help with. I help men fully detach and rebuild their confidence and move forward for good. So if this is hitting home for you, if you're thinking, God, this is great, but I need more, right? Because it's a complex situation to be in, comment ready or message me directly, and we'll talk about what's keeping you still attached fully and how to break free from it. Okay, I really appreciate you guys being here tonight. And if there's any topics that you want to hear about in the future, just reach out and let me know. All right, I will see you guys soon.